Real good. And just in time for this message, which is titled, Busy No More. Now I invite you, what's true for me is busy is one of those words that trips me up and holds me back. Busy may not be a problem for you. The word itself is not a problem. It's how I relate to it. But if there's a word like doubt or lack or fear or shame or guilt, anything that might trip yourself up, you could replace it with fear no more. For me, it's busy. So let's dive in. And we're going to start with the wisdom of a dear colleague and friend, Reverend Deborah Knowles. Deborah Knowles is the service minister for Unity of Kona on the Big Island for 25 years. She was also the first minister to be ordained in the International Ministerial Program at the Unity National School Pacific Rim, where I did my study, and I studied with her. She passed on November 5th, 2018. But her wisdom is bring forth today, because in August 2013, she said in one of our ministerial classes, I've decided to give up the word busy. And as soon as she said it, my life shook. Everything in my being shook, because I knew that at that moment, every day of my life, I affirmed I'm busy. If someone said, hey Gary, how are you doing? Oh, I'm busy. I thought I was busy. I woke up and I thought, oh, I'm so busy. Because there was so much to get done. I had to get caught up. Not exactly a good way to live my life. So I turned to the wisdom of Julie Osborne, a writer, and she says this, busy is neither healthy or sustainable. One of the definitions of busy is full of activity, characterized by much action and motion. Busy is exhausting. It's not a healthy lifestyle, so I need to intentionally plan to stop throughout my day for a break in the action. Busy is as much a state of mind as it is a state of activity. When I tell myself I'm busy, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So, this is what it was like. I would just get so busy. I was doing 3 things at once all the time. Now, one thing about 3 things at once, the 4th thing comes in, there's egg all over the floor. Because I can't do 4 things at once. But I'm really good at doing 3 things at once. Not very well, but I can do them. Now, another thing about being busy is in my busyness, oh, I'm so busy. Oh, just busy. I'm so busy being busy, I don't get anything done. Because I'm procrastinating. I'm just busy. Now, this may not be your experience, but it was mine. And what I adopted was not using the word busy anymore. Not in thought and not in speaking. And then it was like, well, how do I describe my day? Well, I have a full day. There's so much abundance in my universe that there's much for me to do tomorrow and the next day and the next day. And I'm honored to get to do it. And another thing that I started to do is I started doing one thing at a time. So I'm working on something. The phone rings. Stop. Pick up the phone. Talk on the phone. Don't talk and do this as well. One thing at a time. Hang up the phone. Do I go back to this? Or maybe the phone call says I need to go get something. One thing at a time. I'm more relaxed. I'm centered, and when I do one thing at a time, when I complete the task, I give myself credit for doing it. I never used to do that before. This gives me a sense I'm getting things done. One thing's done. What's next? Good way to live. Now, I turn to co-founder Charles Fillmore because this is a wisdom that's part of our teaching in Unity. The words of your mouth and the thoughts of your heart are now and always molding the spiritual substance and bringing it into manifestation. What we think, what we believe, creates our world, creates our experience. The thoughts of today is what we walk in tomorrow. So if I'm living in busyness, what's life going to give me? A whole bunch more busyness. But if I'm living in a world of, bless you, if I'm living in a world of wholeness, of I'm given all I need to do, whatever I need to do, I know whatever I need to know, whenever I need to know it, it's pretty good. And I'm feeling engaged. I'm feeling challenged. I'm feeling whole and open. Now, this wisdom is not Unity's. New Thought is just identifying, hey, let's have new thought, but there's no new thoughts. The compassionate Buddha said it this way: all that we are is a result of what we have thought. Ancient wisdom, and we know it to be true. So what are we thinking? Is busy a word that trips you up, or is busy just a neutral word? Maybe there's fear or doubt. Some other word that trips you up. Eknath Easwaran, the founder of the Blue Mountain Center for Meditation in California, wrote lots of books. He's the author of this passage meditation that our community is doing and learning together. He says this: happily, we can choose the way that we think. Thank God! Happily, we can choose the way we think. We can choose feelings, aspirations, desires, and the way we view our world and ourselves. He goes on to say, mastery of the mind opens avenues of hope. We can begin to reshape our life and character, rebuild relationships, thrive in the stress of daily living. We can become the kind of person we want to be. Wow. Just by what I think and believe? Yes. It's that simple. And do we forget? Yes. But it's great to remember, isn't it? Now I turn to one of our profound teachers and thinkers of this contemporary lifetime, and that's Albert Einstein. And he says this: the most important decision we make is whether we believe we live in a friendly or a hostile universe. Wow. Pretty basic. Now, if I'm going through life with fear, or I'm going for life busy all the time, I don't have enough time for this, I don't have enough time for that. What kind of a universe am I reflecting on? It's a pretty hostile universe. But if I operate from a place of wholeness, even when I'm having a bad day, I know the outcome's going to be good because it always does. I'm always given exactly what I need to do what I need to do. And then I'm living in a friendly universe. So just notice, is your life reflecting a hostile universe or a friendly universe? And if you want to change that, it's a thought away. It's an attitude of mind that allows us to do that. Now, Eric Butterworth, a Unity minister for many years, wrote many books. He was in New York City. And he says, you cannot really make a wrong choice, a bad decision. Any step you take will lead you eventually to your good. Now, this is powerful because it doesn't matter what happens. It's still going to come out better. And what we know is that when we face any situation, any problem in our life, the consciousness that created the problem is not going to correct it. Because we're always operating from the best we can do, the consciousness we are. But when we rise above a situation, we might ask for help. We might pick up a tool. We might learn something new. We might go through some rehab. And then, when we look at that pain, that anguish, that chaos, that mess that we've moved out of, we're no longer there. That was then, this is now. We can look at that as a blessing because it got us to where we are. We find a newfound strength, wholeness, a sense of being. Could you identify those times in your life where things were really messed up? Maybe someone you married that you wish you hadn't married? Maybe a degree you went for that you wish you didn't go for that one, you wish you went for this one? Those choices in our life that turn the corner and led us down a path to our right place, right now. There's no accident, and God is working through all of it, guiding us to exactly what we need at any point. So whatever thought, whatever decision we make is still going to lead us to our good. That kind of liberates it, doesn't it? We can have some freedom of choice because we know that God's going to deliver us to the best opportunity no matter what. Thank you, Eric. And then I turn to Psalms 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. So this is the way we come home to the truth. If we don't know whether we're living in a hostile or a friendly universe, we could take a moment and drop into prayer and meditation and see what's real, what's true right now. And that gives us, it informs us. And from that place we're one with God, all is possible. And it might be we need to scream like the child. Isn't it great that the child knows that all it has to do is just go, I don't like this. And what happens? Someone comes and helps out. It's the same for us. God's always there to give us exactly what we need, the great comforter. So go into the prayer, and if you need to, go, wah! And let God bring you what you need. So I've got a little list. Letting go of being busy. Now, busy isn't a problem for you, but something else is. Just change the word busy to your word. And the first would be refrain from thinking that word. In my case, busy. Don't speak it, don't think it. Just let go of it. And then, it's a good idea to relax, breathe, to let go. And then, it's a good time to feed the body. Drink water. Get some exercise. Find yourself in a pattern of balance. That's all life is just trying to find a place where we're in balance. Then, I invite you to do one thing at a time. Yes, we can do more than one thing at a time, but see how it feels to do one thing at a time. And then give yourself credit for completing something. And these steps can lead us to a place where we're present, we're open, we're available, we're teachable, we're ready. And this is called life. And it's life in a friendly universe. We have no idea what's going to happen the rest of this day or even tomorrow. But if I'm starting from the belief that I live in a friendly universe, you can bet at the end of this day, I'm going to be grateful for whatever did happen. What a good place for us to come to settle in and experience some meditation. But first, to start the Unity Singers. Alleluia is praise, is gratitude, is honoring this now moment. There's a lot to praying. It can be elaborate or simple. I have a dear friend who has 2 prayers that he uses over the course of the day. Upon waking up in the morning, he starts with this prayer: whatever, God. Then he goes out in his day knowing that God is the guide. And when life gets challenging, at the end of the day, the second prayer is enough. Enough, God. But if you start your day with whatever, and you can't handle any more, at noon you can say enough. Two prayers that allow you to center in God. Now, your prayer might be, okay, God. Or, yes, God. Or, now we begin. You might say, engage. And at any time in our day, our life, or at the end of the day when it's time to lay our head on the pillow, we can say, thank you, God. Enough. Finished. At rest. Stop. We begin to cooperate with the Spirit of God by being present always. And we know when we say enough to God, it doesn't stop God. It just unhooks as we catch up, as we let go, as we remember. Today's been a good day. I'm grateful that I completed that task. I honor this journey. And when something challenging comes up, we can be grateful for our courage, for our strength, for the energy. Right here and right now. So let's take some time in the silence and commune with the divine within. And let it be. let us be grateful for this ever increasing awareness of our oneness with God. And as we come out of this meditation, let's take from it the peace, the knowing, and the gratitude as we prepare for the rest of our day. And so as we take a deep breath, we might wiggle our fingers or wiggle our toes, roll our neck, and when we're ready, open our eyes to come back into this space. Now. And the affirmation today is, as we read together, today I resolve to live in the present moment, opening the presence of God. And so it is.
Lead your faith. Step out on the water. Release your faith. Every step is stronger.